Everton are in Women's Super League action tomorrow. Peter Macfarlane from the Blue Room is still with us this afternoon. Peter, it's just 1 win in 6 so far in the league for Everton. The most recent outing, of course, was the 3-0 defeat at home to Chelsea last Sunday. Clearly not the start Everton wanted to the season. What's your take as to why results haven't gone their way so far?
Well, I think first of all, one thing to bear in mind is I don't think the results have necessarily matched the performances from the team. I think certainly the opening 2 games against Brighton and Leicester, I think we would have expected a lot more out of that before the game. And I think after the game, we could have felt hard done by in terms of our performance and the results. But we managed to get a good win at Anfield, but since then we've gone on a run of losing games. One thing I would say is that I certainly couldn't question the fight and the spirit from the side, and I certainly couldn't question how much this team are trying. Certainly in particular last week against Chelsea, I thought that the team were outstanding. The scoreline again doesn't reflect the performance. I think 3-0 massively flattered Chelsea. We were unlucky not to go into half-time with a lead, to be honest with you. I thought certainly in the last 15 minutes of the first half, we created a number of chances. We went right at Chelsea and they were really rattled. I think they had 3 chances and took them. Which is the difference when you're a class side at the top of the table. But again, I think the character shown and the performance from the team last week against Chelsea can give us a huge boost, and hopefully the players can take that into tomorrow's game against Bristol.
And Katia Snoys, the Everton forward, she gave an interview this week, Peter, to Everton Football Club, in which she suggested that there is still work to be done in regards to how the strikers work together as a team. As she said, we're all different types of strikers. It's about getting to know each other's qualities and then getting the best out of your teammate. And she went on to say that we are all really intelligent players. It's just going to take some experience of playing together to get a better understanding of what we want from each other. Do you think that's a fair assessment?
Absolutely. When you bear in mind as well, Katia was our top scorer last season. Unfortunately, she had to miss the start of the season with a hand injury, picked up on international duty just before the eve of the new season, which was a big blow for us. Then Martina Piemonte, fantastic Italian centre forward who we signed from Milan in the summer. She unfortunately got injured in the second game against Leicester. And then we've had a number of other players who are so integral to our side who've been out through injury as well. The home guard twins, for example, have just made their comeback and are looking sharp, but they're not quite there yet in terms of full fitness. Elise Stenedick as well on the left hand side. She's been missing since the first game. So we've had a number of injuries. Lucy Hope as well, who's obviously one of our big leaders in that side. She's unfortunately been missing since the derby. So we have had a number of players and a number of integral players missing, and certainly players who are so important to our structure going forward. So I think it's a fair assessment from Katia, but hopefully we can keep her fully fit, get Martina Piemonte fully fit, and get a few other players back. And I'm not worried, to be honest with you. I think we'll be absolutely fine once we get those players back. We'll be. I think someone's due a pasting off us, to be honest with you.
And maybe eventually that could be Bristol City, although whether they'll be back in time for tomorrow is doubtful, of course. Bristol City are the visitors tomorrow. A big game for Everton, Peter. Bristol currently bottom of the table, of course. Just 1 win so far for them as well, after being promoted from the Championship at the end of last season. A bit of pressure, I guess, on Everton to get the result tomorrow.
Huge pressure, because I think when we looked at our fixture list, we've had a number of top teams back to back, and it can be really sort of daunting when you see that sort of fixture list. I think this would have been a game that Brian Sorensen and the team would have had their eyes on as one that was the one where we could start picking up some points. And that's no disrespect to Bristol, but put simply, we need to win tomorrow. We really do. We can't afford to slip up against them. We need to get points on the board. The thing about the WSL as well is that because there's so few teams, only 12 teams in the league, it only takes a couple of results and you go flying up that table. So although the table might look a bit daunting at the moment, as I say, we've just come out to a really tough run of fixtures as well. So tomorrow is massive for us. It's absolutely huge. I'm sure every player knows that. I'm sure the manager knows it, and I'm sure every fan who goes there tomorrow, including myself, will know it as well.
And I'm sure anyone listening to this tonight will know they can get themselves down to Walton Hall Park tomorrow. It's a 1 o'clock kick-off for Everton against Bristol City. And I did notice this week on the Everton women's Twitter page, they've posted a video which is brilliant for anyone who doesn't know about Walton Hall Park, because Walton Hall Park, I believe, Peter, is less than a mile from Goodison Park. It takes 18 minutes to walk between the two. And there's a video on the Twitter page showing how easy it is to get from Goodison to Walton Hall Park, and also shows as well what Walton Hall Park is all about. It's well worth a look, isn't it?
It is, yeah, and I'll give that another retweet when we finish this. But yeah, it is. It's such a fantastic little stadium. It's a very unique one in the sense that, you know, we've only got sort of one proper stand, but then the rest is it's quite old school, if you know what I mean. But the actual atmosphere and everything else, and the welcome that you get at Walton Hall Park is second to none. The staff there are amazing. The stewards are great. Get a nice little burger as well if you fancy it, and the kids can get their face painted as well. Although depending on what the weather's like, you might not want to get your face painted if it's lashing down as it has been.
Well, this is it. But what you're trying to say is it is a great family day out, isn't it?
It is, yeah, it is, and as I say, it's a fantastic way for the kids to come and see their heroes as well, and it's very close to the pitch. We try our best to create a really good atmosphere as well. It's a very sort of family friendly atmosphere. Don't get me wrong, by the way, we get behind the team from the first minute till the last, but it's certainly a very welcoming environment. And if anyone wants to come and say hello to us tomorrow in the official supporters club, we'll be at the back of the stand. You can't miss us. 2 big drums making lots of noise.